Hello, everyone. My name's Tanya McFitz, and I'm joining you from the UK for this Wake Up Earth Day experience with SoulJour. I'm so happy to be here with you all and to be really anchoring into this experience through the elements, all in honor of the 51st Earth Day. So we begin, and we have begun earlier today with the element of air. And I hope you've enjoyed the offerings so far and that you've been in relationship with this element through the day. And if you're just joining now, then that's great too. And I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the days. So the air really is, it's like the beginning of our experience. We come into this world, and the first thing that we do is we take a breath. So just let yourself take a breath in this moment. The air truly is the bridge between the outer world and the inner world. When you take a breath, do you actually know when the outer becomes the inner? When does the inner become the outer? Air shows us how interconnected we are, how we're in a continuous relationship with our environment. And who knows, maybe it's because we've forgotten to breathe well as a species that we don't feel as connected as we could be feeling with the rest of the world. So we breathe, the earth breathes. We are dependent on each other. We're dependent on our breath. And how we feel is completely reliant on how we breathe. We know this for those of you who have a yoga practice that, when we learn to breathe more efficiently, more fully, with a sense of steadiness and ease, it begins to change us because it changes how we feel. So let's come into a little bit of practice just to feel into our breath, to feel into our relationship with the air, and to ground into our bodies. So I'd like to invite you to take this seal with the hands, mudra, hasta mudra, so a hand seal, that it's the prana mudra. So prana mudra, we do so that the first two fingers come together, and then you bring the tip of the thumb to the tip of the third and fourth fingers, so little finger and ring finger, like this. And just for now, bring the backs of the hands onto your thighs in this position. And just make sure that you have a nice steady seat wherever you might be seated, if you're in a place where you can sit down. And just take a moment. Maybe you rest your eyes on the floor in front. Maybe you close your eyes completely. Begin to feel the movement of the breath, of this exchange between the outer and the inner. And the breath connects us to our own vitality, to the life force, the prana. It is the prana that moves the breath. Notice for a moment if there are places where your breath feels at all rough or edgy or stuck. And have a simple intention of smoothing the breath out. Feel into this relationship between the inhale and the exhale. Maybe one feels more comfortable than the other or naturally longer than the other. The inhale and the exhale mirrors this relationship between giving and receiving. What are we receiving from our environment? And what are we offering to our environment? What is the balance between what we take and what we give? Let's bring this just into a little bit of movement. So with your next inhale, allow your arms to spread wide like wings. So we think of the air and we can think of the birds and all the flying creatures moving through the air, and then wrap the arms around. And again, inhale, widen, and exhale, draw it in. The air in the chakra system relates to the heart. And of course, it's through our hearts that we connect as well. It's through our hearts that we give and receive. Take a couple more. You can imagine that it's your heart wings wrapping around. Great. And then let's move it out to the sides a bit. See if you can hold still this prana mudra and just let yourself flow side to side. So in this way, you're opening up, expanding the space for your lungs to breathe more fully. Great. And then come back to center. Let the backs of the hands rest onto the thighs. Soften or close your eyes completely, whatever is more comfortable. And notice how your breath is moving now. Allow your awareness to trace the breath at the nostrils, just at the entrance of the nostrils. You're not shaping the breath or changing the breath. You just notice how it moves, the qualities of the breath. What does the air feel like when it enters? Is it cooler? Is there a texture to it? What does it feel like on the exhale? Then please bring your awareness into your heart space, the center of the chest, your energetic, spiritual heart center. And as you rest into your heart, how do you in your heart feel the relationship with the air that you breathe? Notice if there is anything within your heart that you are processing from what you might have learned today. about the air quality, and the responsibilities that we have, and where we are being called to act. Now, if you do have pen and paper or a pen and journal, you can let your chin drop to the chest and just gather your pen and your paper. And if you don't worry, just stay seated, stay as you are. I'm just going to offer you a few points of reflection. The first sentence that you can then complete and just spontaneously complete. This is just for you. Breathing clean air feels like. Breathing clean air feels like. Please just take a minute for some free flow writing. The next prompt, and don't worry, you can pause this video, you can come back later, you can stay with these reflections. For clean air, I am willing to. For clean air, I am willing to. And one more. On this day, I commit to. On this day, I commit to. Once you've finished, just take a moment if you're writing to sit, come back and sit and bring your hands over your heart so you can feel into the dream, the vision that we are holding for cleaner air. You can hold to your own commitments, really anchor them in your heart space, and we can feel into the collective, right? This collective power that we are holding, all of us, in this 5-day immersion and experience, which is also, it's like this group collective commitment. And it would be wonderful if you, in the comments of this video, you can share what you commit to, or maybe just how you feel, or perhaps something about what you've learned as well today. I'd like to finish with just a short reading. One of my favorite mystics, poets, writers is John O'Donoghue. I'm sure many of you are familiar with him. And this is from, it's not the whole version, but just a few words from this blessing in praise of air, I believe it's called, in praise of air. So just let yourself drop into your heart space and hear these words. Let us bless the invigoration of clean, fresh air, the gentleness of air that holds and slows the rain, lets it fall down, the shyness of air that never shows its face, the force of air in wall after wall of straining wind. In the name of the air, the breeze, and the wind, may our souls stay in rhythm with eternal breath. So thank you so much for joining and for breathing with us here in this experience. I look forward to continuing in the next 4 days with SoulJour and with this whole community. Many blessings of love to you all.